Devare. How are you? Welcome to Ital Groove.
Hi, hi, I'm doing all right. Big up everyone at Icon Radio.
Yeah, we are so happy to have you on the show. And just before I say anything else, that song, it's amazing. Like I've told you, like everyone in studio is like, what is that song? Yeah,
Yo, that's nice. That's wonderful. That's good to hear.
it's a
That
beautiful.
always makes an artist feel good, when people love their music, especially the people that are in a position to understand what music is all about.
Yeah. How are you? How is
Mhm.
Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica is going through. We've got a cold front passing through, and it's funny to hear people in a warm area complain about it being cold. It's one of the funniest things. Oh yeah, I'm cold. I'm cold. I'm cold. I'm cold.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
Well, welcome to Kenya, although you're not here in person, but welcome to Kenya. A lot of people are tuned in to listen to you. Say hello to the Kenyan audience.
Hi, big up everyone in Kenya. Big up everyone around the world, and like I said, especially the Kenyans that are listening to me. And I'm glad that you have me in your presence today. I appreciate it.
Well, welcome to the show, of course. Well, good to see you. Let's start off. How did you come up with that song? Let's talk about that song first because I know it's still in people's ears. Feel like, this love is
Yeah, right. So
what's the
it's
song
the
about?
funniest thing that happened because it had nothing to do with the actual flavor of the song when the song was born. It
Right?
was me observing a situation. It was a situation at work, and I couldn't believe how people could be so vicious when they get to talking. The mouth, the tongue. It's a dangerous, dangerous instrument.
Right.
And as I realized that the person was crucifying the very same person who, in a meeting earlier that same day,
Yeah.
vouched for them. It's a weird level of hypocrisy because they are unaware that the person that they're nailing to the cross was the person who saw to it that they had a job, and they
Right.
spent time with tearing that person apart. And then as it came to me, I put it in perspective, and it seems to be talking about just how lovers are doing their thing,
Yeah.
meanwhile everybody else is wanting to tear that up. They
Yeah.
say misery love company, right? So that's how it got interpreted in song, even though it was a situation that had nothing to do with lovers.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's nice.
Mhm.
Wow. It's really nice. So big shout out to you. But when did you start singing? When did all this start?
Oh my God. I think I sang all my life. For me, music is a way of putting the world and the world's problems out of my face and putting things in perspective. So there's this thing about music that it touches on every single emotion that humans can ever have or ever had.
Yeah.
And as time went on, I realized that the musical dream is very, very difficult to achieve. And so I never really focused on music. I focused more on education, but it was always there because it's a family hand me down,
Yeah.
two or three generations of stuff
Wow.
that handed down. And so there came a time when I realized that I can't let this just go away. And
Right.
that time was when I realized that I could actually write a song, because I never really wrote a song. I just sang everybody else's song, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get this, it's like an epiphany. I just realized, oh my gosh, I've got two talents. And there are so many people that they barely have one and they do so much with it that I decided I'm going to do this.
Oh wow. Do you remember your first song? What was it?
Oh, it was it was a song that was talking about being in a different place and in a different time and being terribly homesick.
Wow.
And it actually, I'm gonna give you a little taste of it because I never really recorded that song. But
Okay.
it's funny because when I first pitched it to someone, they said to me, "Oh, you're homesick, aren't you?" And I was like,
Oh wow.
oh my gosh. If you can tell that I'm homesick
Yeah.
based on these lyrics,
Yeah.
then I have something
You
here and I
have
need to do
something.
something with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Would
So
you give us a taste
it,
of
it,
it?
it was, I'm sorry?
Would you give us a taste of it?
Oh, in a lonely hotel room there on the 32nd floor, I found myself just staring. staring at the door. And as I ponder where to go and where I've been, I found myself just being on the stage again. So here I go, I'm on the road again. Here I am, I'm back on the stage. Here I go, I'm playing star again. Here I go, turn the page.
Oh, wow. It's a beautiful song. Why don't you just record it?
It's a vibe thing. I guess one of these days it'll just come to me. So, oh yeah, do this one, and I'll do it. But it's personal. It's deeply personal because it speaks to how one goes through the changes as people are thinking, oh yeah, there's this glamour and there's this glitz, and every day is just oranges and peaches. But it isn't. You have to go through being by yourself and leaving your family and being thousands of miles away, and
Right.
sometimes being treated like crap.
Yeah.
So it's one of those type of things. Hmm.
Wow. You have to go through the journey.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing journey so far. I think sharing it, like in cases like this, when I share it with people, they
Yeah.
get a deeper understanding of what it is about. Because when you sit back and look at your life, when you get the chance to be by yourself, and there is no distraction, and there is no cell phone, and there is nothing,
Yeah.
it could bring a lot of loneliness into your presence, and
Right.
then you have to pack it all away and get away from that and get back to being who you are. And sometimes some people use things that capture them, and when it captures them they can't escape, and those things I'm talking about, like drugs and stuff like that,
Right.
and it captures them and they can't escape. So I consider myself fortunate to be able to go into this place and still survive what I leave from this place with, because everywhere that you go, when you leave from that place, you leave with something.
Yeah. Wow. Well, for I've seen that you most of your influences are people like Burris Hammond. Yeah. So is that
Yes. Suppose I tell you a funny story, right?
uh-huh.
So when I started when I started to go on this journey,
Yeah.
I wanted some foundational principles in place because I studied engineering, and because of that, it makes me think in a particular way, right? So
Yeah.
I started to say, well, you can't just go make a song and just go put out a song, and then what happens next? What do you do? Who do you give it to? Who do you talk to? How do you learn the ropes, and how do you learn the do's and the don'ts? You have to get that from people who have been there.
Yeah.
So I made it a personal journey, believe it or not, to go find Beres Hammond on my own.
Wow. Oh, okay.
I did.
Okay.
And he received me with open arms. He received me like someone he known all his life. And we've remained friends to this day. And that's a beautiful thing, to know that an icon, someone that I did not go to ask him to help me out. I went to understand the business. And he took the time to teach me some foundational principles that I live with to this day, 15 years later. So it's a beautiful thing.
Wow. What is that one thing that he told you that you'll always remember and you can share with people?
Oh my gosh, he said to me, and he said this very specific. He looked me dead in the eye and he said to me, look, listen,
Yeah.
and learn. And I have never forgotten those three words. I reminded him of that about a few months ago,
Yeah.
and he just laughed from the bottom of his gut. He just laughed, one of those big, heavy laughs,
Yeah.
and grabbed me around the shoulder and shake me a little bit and
Yeah.
said, yeah, I see you learning.
Wow. That's an amazing one. Would you
Yeah.
will you be like doing a collaboration with him?
Yes, I do. The thing about it is, though, it's a very delicate matter, and
Yeah.
sometimes you never push. Sometimes you put yourself in the presence and let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you push a person away, and I don't want it to be that because it never started off as that.
Yeah.
So I focus mostly on being in the presence of this iconic man, and
Yeah.
I will let the natural environment take care of itself.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, personally, I would love to hear your collaboration. I hope it comes soon.
So do I. I've got fingers and everything crossed.
Praying for
Yes.
praying for it, praying for it. But
Yes.
that's but music industry has been changing from time to time. How are you feeling about uh, the change in the reggae, especially the reggae industry? We're seeing people doing a little bit of fusion. How are you feeling about the different sounds that are coming up right now?
Okay, well, my only issue would be lyrical, and that I cannot decide. And
Mm,
so what I do is I become selective because of it. So certain lyrics, I'm not going to listen to it. I will not listen to lyrics that deride and put women down. I will not listen to lyrics that put a particular race of people down and stuff like that. I don't indulge. So that's my safety net right there as it relates to that. But as far as the sounds are concerned, you see, I'm old school, and I came from the time when it was a lot of donkeys and horses around,
yeah,
and then there were a few cars, and then now there are too many cars and traffic jams. So I understand what change is. I understand it on a fundamental level, that I could go as far as to say to you that people who don't understand change reject change. I make it a point of duty to understand it, and if I don't understand it, I study and learn and try to relate to the change in and of itself. Because if you really don't have change, then you have monotony and stagnation. So change is a good thing. But
yeah,
like I said, it's up to the audience to decide what they want to hear.
right.
I'm not going to make that decision for them. So I will not indulge in trying to tell people what to listen to or what not to listen to. I will just do that on my own, and be selective in what I listen to, because it will mess with my character if I step out of that line. Hmm.
Okay, don't you? What do you think about the whole content thing? Because what I feel is also as a producer yourself. I know you're a producer. At what
Hmm.
point do you say this is the right content for me to, to put it out there? This is not the
Okay.
right content. I don't want to work with this. I want to work with this.
Okay, so the human spirit is very, very strong, and there are things that tickle you one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like, take for instance, it might tickle or it might prick. Like, take for instance, consider this: a rose is beautiful flower, but you have to be careful when you pluck it, because you will get the thorns.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, with that said, my approach to it, as it relates to that, is to always make sure that I understand the person's perspective. What is it that you're trying to bring across?
Okay.
If it's positive, we can work with it. But sometimes it's positive and it sneaks a little bit of negative right inside of there. So I go with a feel and a vibe. Okay. And I equate this simply for people who are listening so they can understand. When a person approaches you for whatever it is, whether it's a job interview, whether it is an interview for a personal relationship, or even if you're going to select friends from a group of people that you came in contact with, or even the very same people at work, you have a vibe. A spirit says yes, and a spirit says no.
Yeah.
You have to know what that is. It's a foundation that's within you that's saying, hey, listen, bad idea. You see what I mean? And
Yeah.
so you will know it. So it's hard to explain, other than to say you don't walk around and give your phone number to every single person. You kind of select who you do. It's the
Right.
same way in the process of interviewing people. You vet that person. So it's a mental vetting that says yay or says nay. And
Right.
then there's the sound to it. How does that person bring it across? And the final ingredient is the person themselves.
Right.
Because sometimes
Mhm.
a person can come off as good, but
Yeah.
they've got a devil spirit inside of them.
That's
And
true.
so the music might be great, but you and that person will not get along. Do
Yeah.
you want to have that person tear your entire organization down over one song, or do you not? So you make choose based on that as well. So it's a combination of things.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I usually ask a lot of artists because I know life has too many things happening. How exactly are you able to balance whatever is happening in your life and the music career, production, family? How has that been for you?
By remaining true to self.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning and I look in the mirror and I see the same guy that I fell in love with many, many years ago. And I will never change him. He
Right.
will not change for anyone. And so you hear this term, go with the flow. I don't go with the flow.
No.
I am the flow. It
Okay.
flows from inside out.
Yeah.
You understand? And so for me, it's one person. There is no difference when I'm on here talking to you versus when I'm talking to my 25-year-old daughter. It's
Yeah.
the same one person. And by doing that, there is no load to carry because I am just me. If you
Right.
meet me in the street, it's me. If I'm on the stage, it's me. What I leave on the stage is a part of me. What
Yeah.
I leave in this conversation is a part of me. And so it is just this one person that lightens the load.
Wow. That's amazing. I am the flow. I'll take that for the rest of the year. I am the flow.
Yes.
I really
Yes.
love that. I really love that. Talk to me about the album, your EP. So your EP, is it Essence of Life? Tell me about that.
Okay, so there was a project that was born in my manager Natalie Lawrence's mind, and once that project started to develop, her personal situation started to change, and it started to go in a direction that was in some ways negative for her. And we shared that conversation very deeply
Right.
over a few months, and we spoke about a lot of things as it relates to where you want to go and where you are.
Yeah.
Now, as changes like you mentioned earlier come along, you can choose to go all the way negative or all the way positive, or you could try to find a happy medium. For eight people saying basically eight different things to
Yeah.
bring this across to the masses.
Mhm.
So I jumped in and I was like, well, let's do this. Let's find a way to make it happen. And so that became my first production project. Uh, as it developed, I realized some things like I mentioned to you earlier about people. It taught me a lot about people and how to deal with them and how to deal with the changes that they go through that they might dump on your lap because they don't know how to handle it. Because a lot of people don't know how to handle stress, right? And they'll dump it in your lap, and then if you react, like I said, you go all the way from one spectrum to the next, and forget about the middle. Well, you see, here's the thing: you can't sit a glass on the edge of a table. So why should we live on that edge? How about if we try to find a happy medium on the surface itself and work with that because it's a better place? And so that album was made out of a labor of love.
Wow. Why the title Essence of Life?
Hmm. Yes, the title being Essences of Life, it was just a brainstorm one day. I was sitting there and I thought about how the songs came across.
Yeah.
Me personally, I was trying to tell the world that war is an ugly thing. Another person was complaining about his girl leaving him. Another person, he found out his girl was cheating on him. It was just all these things that was going on. There was another person there falling in love. And there was all of these ingredients. If you consider making soup, you'll realize that there's all these different and separate ingredients in that soup.
Yeah.
And that's what this was. So soup, as in the sense of it, is the essence of life. And that's what we came up with, and was like, oh my God, this is such a beautiful title because it covers all of these other aspects. There was even a song in there speaking about politics, about politics, whatever it is, and saying that we need to see to it that all the children are fed and such. And so it was so much of so much going on, and that really is what you would refer to as the essences of life.
That's wonderful. That's a beautiful way to put it. I love the title, and of course, I love your singles. And what are we expecting from you this year?
Okay, so I went back into producing again, and
Wow.
I have a three song. It's not an album. It's just three singles that I am waiting for one more video to be completed, and then I'm going to release that. And so that's my production effort for now.
Yeah.
I co-produced some songs for myself. I have about five songs, and we sat in the studio one day and we started to say album, and everybody started to look at me funny and say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
album." And so I think I might hold on to that and make it into an album.
Wow.
So for 2024, I may drop a nice album with a mixture of feel and vibe.
Yeah.
And I have this one cover song that I've been thinking about for a long time that I wanted to cover, and we recorded it the other day, and it's in post production now. And it's a pretty song, and so wait to one out there in the that is going to be an album.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry
so I
about the
was saying
internet.
we had a great conversation before the internet started acting up.
Yeah, yeah, and I know people have loved it on YouTube and on the side. I can see so much love. So we would really be happy to have you in Kenya, obviously. And maybe before you leave, an advice to anyone who is young, who is starting off the music, what would you tell them?
I always say the same thing: master your craft. Focus on the business of music if you intend to make money from it, because it is a business. And if you're going to sell oranges or sell tires, you need to know about oranges or tires. So it's the same thing with music. Don't just look at the money, but focus on your craft and master it. Be good at what you do.
Yeah, I'll take that too.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I love this job so much, because I get to learn from the people and I get to hear their stories. Yeah. So yes, thank you
Great.
so much for and all the best with the projects. Let me know when you drop them so that we can play them here exclusively on Ital Groove Show.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And thank you for having me.
anytime when you drop a song and you would love to for the Kenyan people to listen to it, then let me know. Then we organize it and we make it happen.
All right. I appreciate it. Big ups to all of the people in my support group and all of the people who love me and all the haters as well.
Yeah.
And ju- just so they know that this is authentic, I'm gonna do you one, right? So here's how it goes. People are gonna talk about this love that we found. And all the people gonna try to get you down. But I don't care what people say. I'm gonna love you anyway. Yo, I don't care about the games they play. Cause this your love is here to stay. Yo, I don't care what people say. I'm gonna love you anyway. Oh, I don't care about the games they play. Cause this your love is here to stay.
Wow. Valentine is coming. Well, we're using that. We're using that. Wow. That's a
All
very
right.
have an amazing voice. You have a very beautiful voice. And thank you so
Thank you.
much. And what are your social media handles before you leave?
Okay, so just go to devaremusic.com. Everything is there. All social media, everything. I have a website. It's DEVARE music.com. And
Yeah.
everything, all of the links to social is there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so
All
much for
right.
your time. Say hello to the family and also Natalie.
Hi, Nati. How are you? Big ups to all my family, my support system,
Yeah.
everyone who loves me, and all the haters as well, because you make me relevant. So thank you
Yeah.
for having me and stay blessed.
You too. Have a good. It's a day for you. It's a night for me. Have a good day.
Yes. All
Okay.
right. Take care.
Bye.
All right.
Purchase your tracks today.